over there. Head on over, and I will catch you up when I can't do a thing with my hair yet. And I'll see you over there. Okay.
Hey,
Hey, Dieter, how you doing? I was
doing
just
all right.
finishing up
Doing all right.
a little cleaning up there. Once a week, whether you need it or not.
Yeah, yeah. I don't need it. I
Good
smell
enough.
fresh as a
Good enough.
daisy
I'm
every
gonna I'm
day.
gonna step back over here a little bit, but yeah, no, that sounds great. Uh, Little craziness with the hair and the thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You should brush that.
How have you been?
Hanging in there. Just
Yeah,
my pickaxe broke the other day, and I had to get a new one. So
you look good. You look relaxed.
I am pretty relaxed, because Emo Goth is not here this week. He's on vacation.
Is that right? I hadn't noticed him, but
Oh,
you're
he
saying
didn't.
he's
He
just
didn't.
not here at all?
He didn't tell you. No, no. Yeah, he's not
Oh,
here. He's
maybe it was when I was in the shower or
he's
something.
he's he's off cavorting with other dragons on the beach or something.
Sounds awesome. Should we go get a drink or what? I mean, we
All
could
right.
leave, right?
We well, I mean, the show will be available to watch later, and I'm sure he's going to check up on
Uh,
us. So we should
that's a
record
good
something
point.
at least. I
That's a good point. Plus, he might ask the trolls what went on while he was away. Yeah,
well, we could bribe the trolls
with books.
with books. The trolls are voracious readers, as everyone knows.
They're big on books. You do any gaming lately?
Um, well, yes and no. I have not actually done any tabletop role playing of any kind, but
Uh,
I got addicted to, ironically enough, Minecraft.
well, that's sort of gaming, almost sort of. Not as many D16s in that, but
No, sadly, there are not. There are no D16s at all in
unless
that.
you construct one.
Now I have a goal.
Now you have something to do. You need some red ore to make a D7 or something, right?
Yes. What about you?
I've actually been able to get back to some actual DCC play,
Nice. What have you played?
and we are in the middle of with my local group. I'm in the middle of Elzamon and the Blood Drinking Box,
Oh,
and we had quite an incident on the. I don't want to spoil Elzamon and the Blood Drinking Box. How do I say this? In the first major portion of the adventure, we just about had what could have been a TPK, but everybody after a series of bad events, everybody pulled it out with some solid die rolls and made
nice.
good decisions. Not least of which was the cleric using word of command on a party member to keep things going the way they should
What
go.
what was the word?
Bird.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Actually, it was hoist. I don't think that'll spoil
Hoist.
things too much.
Okay.
It was hoist. Yeah, rope, pulling a rope
Gotcha. All
uh,
right.
was pretty important at that very moment. Um, yeah, no, but we've been having a good time with it. They're uh, they're still learning that DCC is not always quite what you might expect it to be.
And
The
that's
scale of things can be different and wackier.
that's what makes it such a great game.
Absolutely. I mean, after the almost TPK before the next session, I posted a meme that was something to the effect of I keep trying to make a grandmaster villain that's uh, dangerous to the party, but I can't create anything more dangerous to them than they are themselves. Something like that. Like they're the biggest danger they have to deal with. So, and it's absolutely
So
true.
so clones of the party.
That's a thought. They could just fight themselves, and then I don't have to be there. Even I can just watch or go get dinner or whatever.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But speaking of Elzamon and the Blood Drinking Box, that is the first adventure that is compiled in Chaos Rising, which is newly back in the store. It had been absent for I'm not sure how long, a
What a
while.
fantastic segue, John.
And I just want to point that out because it's an awesome value.
No, and I like Chaos Rising. When I'm working a booth or something, Chaos, and people come up to you, like the one question you always get is, if I just get one adventure, what is the
Right.
adventure to get? And that's the one I always tell people to get because it's actually 7 adventures ranging in level from 1 to 5.
Yeah. There's what 2 or 3 ones, and then an assortment.
Yeah. So for it's great for new players because they're nice short adventures, and it really gives you a overview of like how the game scales at different levels and things.
Right. Between that and the rule book, you've got a lot of mileage right there for play. You could do a campaign just off of those 2 things. And back in the store, check it out
Yeah.
if you haven't heard of it or haven't had a chance to see it, or if you've been waiting for it to come back. It's back.
Well, and speaking of reprints, this is not available in the store yet, but it is funding on Indiegogo,
Oh
the
yeah.
Dungeon Alphabet 5th printing. Um, it's a fantastic resource. It's a beautiful book just to just look through and read, even if you don't use it at the table. But the 5th printing does have something new. It has the first English publication of C is for Ciphers.
Oh
It
right.
was
Yeah.
originally written for the German publication and is now printed in English for the first time.
And you may know this even better than I do. I think wasn't the first version of Dungeon Alphabet had one entry for each letter, and then subsequent editions have added. They keep adding. So some letters have multiple entries.
Right.
So you
I
might
think
have three or
a
four
couple
entries.
letters did have multiple entries in the first printing, but yeah, I feel like every printing has added at least another 1 or 2. Yeah.
Right. They keep adding extra entries, and there was a point where I can't even remember what the customer question is, but I was in running a booth, and they had a question about the book, and I got curious, and in a quiet moment, I was trying to count up how many entries, how many like line entries there are in the Dungeon Alphabet, and when I got to like 800 or something, I lost track, and I was only partway through the book. So there are like thousands of ideas in that book or
Oh
something.
yeah.
It's
Oh
over
yeah.
1,000. It's got to be over 1,000. It's like you say, you can dip into it and or go through it and build a whole dungeon just using that.
Yeah. I I would do it. I would play in that dungeon.
Yeah.
So
Anything else out there in the electronic
in the
world
in
of
the electronic world,
online stuff?
also not on the Goodman Games store, but available now is the bundle of holding Goodman Games, the system neutral bundle of holding,
Yes.
which the starter collection for $9.95 gives you the Adventurer's Almanac, the DM Campaign Tracker, PC Pearls, and GM Gems, which are all very fantastic books. But if you pay more, if you pay $24.95, you get all of those plus the Dungeon Alphabet, the Monster Alphabet, the Cthulhu Alphabet, 50 fantastic functions for the D50, and the prized How to Write Adventure modules that don't suck. That's all in PDF. It's not physical copies, but it's still it is a great deal. So yeah.
Even just for those alphabets.
Oh yeah, the alphabets are
Throwing
worth
the
it
other two
alone.
on to
Yeah,
that bonus
yeah.
level, icing on the cake there.
Icing on the cake.
And I can't remember. There's like 20. What is it? 25 or 26 different articles in the How to Write Adventure modules.
Yeah, I don't even remember how many, but there's a lot.
It could almost be another alphabet. It's up there for that many entries.
It's a great book. I love it.
Yeah. I dip into it semi regularly. Just
I
to
mean,
get.
I could have written it myself, but
Well, I have no doubt
clearly, but
because you're busy. You're working on adventure ideas instead of showering. So
right, exactly.
got
I
all
mean,
that
that's
time. There's a lot of time there.
who needs showers? Who needs
Yeah, that's right.
showers?
You're overrated. Much overrated. Very much overrated.
Uh, what else have we got here? Oh
When
yeah,
when
before we
when you
before
when you when you don't shower though, don't you get a little like itchy and you have to scratch, or does that not?
oh, I see where you're going,
Is
John.
that
I see where you're going.
is that maybe not a phenomenon that happens that
Yes,
you
in fact, I'm feeling kind of itchy right now. Luckily, also brand new again in the store.
newly
Uh,
returned?
Scratch off character sheets for
Woo!
Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics. So,
Yeah,
yeah, since I'm feeling itchy, let's just kind of scratch one of these right
yeah.
now.
Let's give me some
Oh,
stats here.
but
Give me my
first,
mutant.
the one part you don't get to scratch is the character's name. What is our character's name?
Oh well, should we cheat and figure out if it's a manimal or a planchant or
No,
whatever
no,
before
we
we
should
name
name
it?
it. We should name it first.
Okay. Well, Hemogoth is not here. We could name it Hemogoth.
I don't like that
No. Okay. Uh, what's Hemogoth backwards?
name. Oh, it's
Hatagome.
Hitag. Yes, Hitagome. Yes. Okay. So we'll scratch here. Hitagome is a a manimal subtype
Man,
mouse.
a mouse manimal.
A
All
mouse
right.
manimal. Yes. Um, with a 13 strength,
Nice strong mouse manimal.
12 agility,
Yeah, solid so far.
12 stamina,
Yeah,
14 personality,
nothing to complain about.
10 intelligence,
Perfectly
and
serviceable.
16 luck.
That's a
This
great
is
character.
this is a great character. Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay. Well, since we have a
And
luck modifier, let's see what our lucky sign is.
it has some mutation that's like it can't move or think or exert itself in any form, right? I mean,
Um, right. Yeah, the lucky sign is the Millistede, +2 to mounted attack rolls.
all right.
Yeah. So cool. Um, all these other numbers we don't really need to go
Saves. Who
over.
needs them? You're gonna
Saves.
fail.
Suit right.
Irradiation.
Beginning equipment is a bow with 12 arrows. That's
Nice.
that's
12
useful.
arrows. 12 arrows is generous.
So yeah, that's Hitagami. There we go.
Itagome.
Hitagome.
Itagome. All right.
So
And
yeah,
they're DCC and MCC flavored.
right. You can get either or both.
Back in the store. It's a pack of 15, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a pack of 15. You're correct.
Right. So not a full. You can't do a full alphabet out of that.
Right. You have to get one of each for a full alphabet.
You got to or get two packs, whatever, mix and match, or two the same, and then you could do a whole, characters A through Z plus maybe some numbers for I don't know something.
Yeah.
Somebody could have a
Yeah.
number as their
Yeah.
name.
So yeah, zero level characters are just they're so much fun. I kind of really love them.
Absolutely.
Especially the Gong Farmers.
Especially the gong. Well, that's the epitome of the zero level character, right?
Right.
And the thing to remember about zero level characters is that they're full characters. They're full people. They have a life. They have a history. They have friends and family, and they could even fall in love, right?
Right. Exactly. Gong Farmers can love too.
Would that in any way tie into Love in the Age of Gong Farmers?
What a coincidence. Man, we are nailing this segue game so far today. Like
I
we're
think it's because
on it.
Emogoth isn't
We're
here.
on it.
Like
I
we're not
know.
as jittery or
We're not as
something.
stressed out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different vibe here in the print nine. Although ironically, Love in the Age of Gong Farmers is a second level adventure,
Oh, okay.
but within
I feel like love between second level characters and Gong Farmers is not like
well, get this, within the Love in the Age of Gong Farmers, there is the Funnel of Love.
oh, I see.
So there's a little nod there. There's actually a lot of there's a lot of I wouldn't call them puns, but like for example, one of the elements in here are those little chalk heart candies with the
Yeah,
words
yeah, the
on them.
conversation hearts.
Yeah, yeah. So there's those feature in the adventure. um, at one point, and there's a list of like things they might say, and they're all very
Oh no,
DCC.
that is fantastic.
And
Like, because you can
I don't want to
you
spoil them because they're too good to have them pop up in the game, and like they.
there
But
there are websites where you can actually order custom conversation hearts,
is that
and
right?
like DCC conversation hearts would be amazing.
Is there one? Is there one I could spoil? Let me see here. All right, okay. I'll spoil one out of the list. It's no disapproval here.
Oh, good one. Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
one. You could put that on a
That's
custom
a
heart.
DCC Valentine right there.
But yeah, no, it's got it's adventure. There's an element of jealousy to it, as you might expect in a game or adventure that has love in the title. There's chocolate in there, not actual chocolate. They couldn't manage
Oh,
to get a
that'd
chocolate
be.
bar in the adventure. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? If you had
I want minis made of chocolate, and then when your character dies, you can just eat it.
I got dice made out of chocolate one time. I don't know if that still exists out there somewhere in the world, but
Who is the cover artist on that?
the cover artist, I think it's Chuck Whalen, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Why can't I see it? There it is. Yeah, Chuck Whalen.
Ah,
He
fantastic.
did a bunch of the cartoons in the main rule book,
Right, right.
like the surveying people. They're like, we don't have to be this accurate, do we? Surveying the dungeon. Title frontispiece or whatever. Stephen Pogue there.
Yep, yep. Cool.
Yeah, no, it's all the usual gang of artists, and uh, Stephen Newton is writer. He's done plenty of horror adventures. This He's going a little different direction here. I don't know if he's getting soft or what.
I feel like we'll have to invite him on the show at some point.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this has been available as a pre-order. Um, it should be going live as just an order and start shipping today, anytime now,
Today
anytime.
ish.
The last I looked, it hadn't, but it's supposed to be like at any point it should go live, and it's
It
probably just
could
a
be
matter of
right now, and we don't even know.
it could be happening right now.
So yeah, so
Could be happening as we speak.
pause this, and just go look at the Goodman Games website right now, everyone, and order it if it's available, and then come
and, it,
back.
and if you're not watching live, it probably already is active.
That's true.
And don't
That's
pause
true.
us because
So
we need your energy to keep us going.
in the I'm trying to come up with a good segue for the next one, and I'm falling flat now.
Well, we can we can always fall back on our special segment from our original episode of the very long pause, and
Oh
just
yes,
like
the
we're
very
gonna be
long pause.
silent. We're gonna think for a minute. We can let the audience think. They
But
might
then
pause.
they won't know if we're pausing or if we're just muted.
or the Zoom froze, right?
Right. Anyway, I
Man,
will.
this
Let's just do a
segue's
hard
taking for years.
just do a
Right,
hard
right.
crash into the next item.
So
That's enough
next,
about love. Let's talk about something
let's
else.
talk about an alternate leveling system for fantasy RPG campaigns. How about that? That sounds
Yeah,
exciting, right?
that follows naturally from a discussion about love and gone
Right, right. So yeah, we have the new in the store, the Years Between. Um, as I said, an alternate leveling system for fantasy RPG campaigns. It's from Studio 9 Games.
right,
They make
right,
great stuff, but the premise of this book is like you want to play you got your game, but you want to run an adventure that's the next level up, but your characters don't have enough experience to level up yet. So rather than just saying, okay, you're third level now,
right.
it,
Okay.
it provides some random tables to roll on and
Oh,
see what happened to your character in between adventures to level them up.
okay.
So it works kind of like the character creation in Cyberpunk 2020 or Traveler, where you have
Right.
it's not as detailed as those, but it's the same kind of thing, and I
Yeah.
really love it because I'm really into this like roll on random tables and try to tie it all together coherently kind of thing. Like
Right. Right.
I
Right.
love that stuff.
And especially if it's multiple characters and you're going like, well, wait, this thing that happened to you could be tied to the thing that happened to that guy, and
Right,
Suddenly
right.
you have
Well,
like,
and it also it has a voting system. So once all the characters have leveled up and told their stories, you all get to vote
ah,
basically for which one you liked the most, and
huh.
one of the things you're supposed to take into consideration when voting is how it ties in things that have happened before, and does it provide hooks that can be used for the future and stuff like that. So
Right, right. Well, that's my thing. I'm always looking for loose ends that I can play off of later
right.
to have things
So
circle back.
it's a pretty cool thing. I definitely want to try using it. My only complaint is that it is kind of short. I think you're supposed to sit down at the beginning of the session, knock this out in like 15 minutes, and then play your next adventure. But
Okay.
I would really love to see an expanded version where I'm rolling for like an hour.
It's a session into
Right,
itself
right,
where
yes,
everybody's figuring
because
out what
because
happened.
I'm into that kind of stuff.
Right, right, right.
So
Like,
yeah,
oh
that's a
God,
new
what
one.
was the
That's
thing?
great.
Like,
9.99.
yeah, no, I was going to say quick sidebar. Do you remember years ago there were supplements that were like character background, but it was a fairly thick book and they were done by genre. Like there was a sci-fi kind of
Oh
one
yeah,
and a fantasy one, and
I
they
didn't
had a
own any of them, but
bajillion tables
I
in them to
remember what
like,
you're talking about. Yeah,
I can't think of what it was called. Oh,
I
was it
can't
like
either.
central casting or something?
Central casting. Yes, that's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, good
So
stuff.
you
Good.
want that scale, but with this idea.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
specifically for DCC. Yeah,
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Like 80 pages of charts for whipping up a character.
it's not really whipping up a character if you have
Right. Well,
80 pages of charts, but
central casting was like the to me the fallback of it, or the fall down of it was when you went through that whole thing. It was like, well, what adventure is going to compare to the machinations that you just went through to get through the book? You know, it was like you
that's
had all these
true.
amazing things happen to you, and now you're just gonna, oh, there's a farmer that's in trouble. We need to go save him. You know, it's like,
Yeah, well,
oh well. But years between avoids that. It's just leveling up. Does it
it's
let me ask you this. Do you know, like, um does it have like XP related to the stuff you're generating, or are you just arbitrarily saying
yeah,
like, okay,
it
now
kind of
we're going to go to third level, but here's what's happened to get you
it
here?
kind of does both. Like you get
Okay.
experience rewards for certain things that happen. Plus, like I think it kind of assumes that you're going to, level up at least to the minimum of the next level.
Whatever you need to
But
get
but
through.
you
Yeah.
can get like bonus XP on top of that for various results. Plus, you can end up with magic items from your adventure, or you can end up with permanent stat damage from your adventure. It just depends on how
Right.
you
Right.
roll.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't doubt that some of them are not so great. it's it's a mixed bag,
It
as it should
absolutely
be.
is.
As it should be. So, in the segue department, if we're going from the years between to like many years ago, sort of,
That's a
is
better
that
one. That's a better segue than I had in my head. So
we could
let's go with
I mean, we could workshop that and have it,
it.
perfected by the next episode when we're not covering these particular products. But next thing on my list is Aeon, the Labyrinth
Ancient,
of Daedalus.
ancient Greece,
Ancient
DCC.
Greece. So it's like mythical Greece, done up for DCC in a DCC manner. This is the first volume, volume one. That would be the first one, right? If
Right.
I understand correctly.
One is
Um,
usually first.
so it's got zero level adventure and zero level character creation for basically DCC Ancient Greece. Um, Including Bronze Age weapons and armor and things of that sort, Bronze Age equipment.
My
Uh,
favorite part is the 2-page spread of Greek names.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can find a bajillion names that you're not 100% sure how to pronounce them, like me.
I'm not sure how to
Oh,
pronounce John.
we should have used this for the scratch off during the
Oh,
game.
what were we thinking? Yes.
The manimal could have been, oh, Diagora. I know how to pronounce that. I think I could be doing that totally wrong. I don't know.
We'll know if any ancient Greeks comment on the
Yes, if we
stream.
get
So
letters, if we get stone tablets carved in Greek letters correcting our grammar. The only one I'm certain of is Electra. I know how to pronounce that.
so what is the adventure itself about, basically?
The adventure is the Labyrinth of Daedalus, where you are. Oh, crikey! I'm drawing a blank. You are. I'm getting confused with a different adventure. Am I? Is this? Are you going into the underworld in this? Suddenly, I
No, no,
can't recall.
this one I think is the wait, maybe I don't know.
I think
I
I'm
know.
spoiling an adventure we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I'm suddenly blurring them together. It's been that kind of day. Um,
Anyway, there's a labyrinth, and
there's there's a labyrinth and it's of Daedalus. And
I feel like it is the labyrinth that the Minotaur was in
yes,
mythologically, but it is after the Minotaur has been killed.
yes, it's at a different point in time, but I cannot remember what the motivation is for. Anyway, it's in there. It's good. I hope you can can trust us on this. It's just my brain has failed me. Um,
You know,
Emo goth will probably hit
maybe
me with 30 lashes
we need
for
that
whatever.
stress of emo goth being around to keep us sharp.
I'm too giddy, too happy that he's not here to remember anything clearly. But yeah, full on zero level adventure. There's an inspirational Appendix N kind of section with books. Is it books and movies? Oh yeah, they have movies as an addendum to it. The Appendix N they're keeping strictly with the written word, and then there's also reference to
The
like movies,
original Clash of the Titans, I hope. Yes,
original
there it
Clash
is.
of the
Yeah, there we go.
Titans,
All right.
and of course my favorite on the list, Jason and the Argonauts, which I
Oh,
ate up
that's a
as
classic
often
too.
as I
Yeah.
could as a kid. If I found that thing on TV, I was watching it, watching all the Ray Harryhausen stop motion stuff. Yeah, and also I love that it's typeset in Futura, which to me just says RPG publication because Holmes Basic, which I started with, was written or typeset in Futura. So Futura is
It
like
seems like
the
an interesting
font
choice
as far
for
as
an
I'm concerned.
ancient Greek uh, supplement, though.
Well, yeah, yeah, true. Maybe there's some kind of irony built in, or maybe future volumes will reveal
Oh,
what's going
right.
on. They just had a Kickstarter for Volume 2.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
I
Okay, cool.
I think it's ended at this point.
I'm sure I will acquire
It
it
was ending this
anyway.
week, I think, and I think it's already ended. But um, yeah. So
But yeah, so
definitely check that out from Sharktopus Games.
Octopus Games.
I like their logo too. The little
It's got tentacles. It's very DCC.
Sharktopus.
So yeah,
Oh,
Sharktopus
and
would
they also have
oh, the character sheets, yeah.
a little pad of character sheets, like 50 character sheets, I think, or something. There's quite a few there. You can see how thick it is. It fills the screen.
So yeah, so I've got a zero level adventure here that I feel like a Sharktopus would go very well in. I don't think there's a Sharktopus in it, but there very well could be if you wanted there to be one. It's a Mutant Crawl Classics funnel called Dead in the Water by Tim
Ah,
Snyder. And
he of
it's,
the Country Call Classics that we talked
oh,
about
yes,
a
yes.
million years ago, or not that long, but
So it's a 9.99 adventure, like many adventures are. And this particular adventure takes your mutant crawl classic characters, like if you had a mouse manimal perhaps, um,
could happen.
and basically you go out onto this lake and go to an old oil rig where the danger is coming from. So
Oh yeah,
so it's kind of a industrial slash aquatic MCC adventure, which is kind of
and
cool.
you've got that kind of isolation factor of
Right. Yeah.
you're out in the middle of nowhere on a limited space, and any dangers you meet, it's going to be hard to run away from them.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So make sure you kill them all.
Or at least make an offering of your fellow mutants to appease them so they don't eat you.
Hmm.
And is that anything special about character creation in that, or
No,
anything
no,
like
no.
that?
It's just
Just kind of
for straight up normal MCC zero level characters. So it does not try to reinvent the setting in any way. It just gives you an adventure to use in the
one solid adventure to play with.
exactly.
Well, I don't know what else you've got dug up. I have one more thing.
One more thing. Why don't we talk about that and then call it a show?
That would be the discordance, a discordance, a discordance with Zyvats. Zyvats?
Zivats? So I don't know.
Are we more or less in agreement on how to say that one?
It sounds
Let
yeah.
me see if it's in the Aeon guide for the names. No. Um, Now this is an adventure that um, follows on from an adventure. Whoops, excuse me. Follows on from the adventure that appeared in Crawl number 4
Huh.
back in 20 whatever it was, 2013, 2014. I'm not sure. I'm not immediately finding a date on this. Anyway, Crawl number 4. It was pretty early. Um, so it's the same author. It can follow, it can have ties to that adventure. You can run it on its own. Um, and the centerpiece here is you need to find a way to get to the abyss and
Yeah,
do a little
like you
something
do.
while you're there. And then you have to deal with being in the abyss as well. And so the first part of the adventure is figuring out how you're going to get there and get what you need to get there, and then in the process of transferring to the abyss or transferring to hell, you are altered in that process, and there's a whole little
Okay.
uh,
But now
chart
this
of like what happens to
this
you when you step through the gateway that takes you to hell, and
now
you
it is
get all
a fifth level adventure, so your characters have probably been to the abyss already several times before this, but you know,
perhaps maybe not this same level of the abyss.
right.
It actually specifies which level. I can't
Oh,
remember what
okay.
level it is, but it's
Um,
it's level 712 or whatever it is, and yeah, I kind of like the idea that stepping through to such a and what's the word I'm looking for? Such a hostile place to life that it changes you, and then yeah, some of that might be permanent.
uh, yes.
So
So
that
yeah, and I see the Stefan Pogue did the cover, the front cover,
yes,
and
yes,
then
yes.
the back and some of the interior art is Jeff D.
Is that right?
And, yeah,
Oh my God, you're right.
and the other interior artists I don't recognize their names, but the art is great. And I gotta say, the thing I really love about this one is like the layout stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's got nice big fonts, so that well, my camera is weird, but you can read that, and like the monster stats are in these little boxes, so you can really easily just print the page, and if you want the monsters on cards, you can cut it out real easily.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And it kind of the way it's laid out is a little more modular. That's like here's an area, here's an area, here's an area,
right.
and the bits you need to run those encounters or those spaces are all right there.
And it does have another alternate character sheet
It does
in
have
the
a
back
character
too.
sheet.
Oh, I hate this
Um,
filter. There we go.
there was something else I was going to mention, and now I am blanking on that. But yeah, it's got numerous maps. There's what five different maps because you're doing a fair amount of travel in this thing. You have to find a way to get to the abyss, and you have some options on how you do that, and then you'd have to do some overland travel to facilitate the journey to the abyss, and then you're actually journeying to the abyss, and then you're traveling within the abyss, and
Yeah, it's a fairly thick adventure.
It's got a lot going on.
But I mean, it's got really nice glossiest paper too. So that's
The
part of why
production
it's thick.
values are good. There's a lot of room to do your own personal expansion if you're into that kind of thing. You want to add stuff into it. It's very very flavorful in the way that it's put together. Very it's a cool idea. And
Great. Well,
definitely some of the art even ties back to the crawl adventure. Like I think this artist, Scott Ackerman, ties back to that original adventure, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of continuity to it, but again, you can run it entirely on its own.
fantastic.
And there aren't a lot of level 5 adventures out there, so there's a new one.
That's right. And if you just played a level 1 adventure, you can use years between to level up 4 times before playing this one.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you can go through years between 4 times, right?
Right. Exactly. So that's all we got. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
We don't have like 20 more products sitting here we can talk about.
There's 100 products we haven't talked about, but I don't think we have time for that today.
Oh, well, okay.
And
I guess we'll wait.
We'll fold it in at some point. We may have to do a whole show that's just older stuff. It's not new stuff. It's just perennially. Is that a word? Perennially good stuff.
That's a good idea. We should do that show.
That could be a show.
That could be a show.
All right. Well, I think that will wrap it up for us today. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Emo Goth, for not being here. Thanks, Elena, our producer. And if anybody I'm forgetting, can't think of anybody I'm forgetting. I mean, that's kind of what that is about, not remembering when you're forgetting.
Could thank me, your co-host.
I
do so much for you, John. I do so much for you.
Thanks for letting me know Emo Goth is not here, because that changed everything.
Oh, it really did. It really did. I'm sure he'll be back next episode, though.
And I'll try to be on time next time. That's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, do your hair earlier, John.
Yeah. It takes a lot of time to get this perfection.
Oh, I understand. It's not easy. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Goodbye.